Joining us is News Corp columnist Louise Roberts and royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the program. Louise, where to even begin with this? There's so much to unpack. Why do you think the pair are taking a step back from the public shaming of the royal family?
Hi, Danica. Well, yes, I mean, royal bashing is their industry. That's what they've made millions of money. They've made so much money out of attacking their own family, as we know, and as you described then. But I think it's less about them having nothing left to say. I'm sure there's plenty more bullets left in that chamber, and more about perhaps some advice from Meghan's new agent, who's probably said to them, at least said to Meghan, if not to both of them, guys, you've got to come up with a new strategy here. You've become a one-trick pony. You're constantly bashing your family. There's only so much you can do on that. You need something else in your portfolio. So I think it's more about some sort of subtle agent manoeuvring there.
Yeah, maybe it's got to do with the reinvention of the brand, given, as you mentioned, that Meghan does have a new agent. Kinsey, how do you think the royal family would feel to hear that Harry and Meghan are done with all these media appearances?
Well, there are reports that King Charles felt a sense of relief when he heard that they were going to, keep their mouth shut for a bit. But, I do think that they would be immensely happy to know that Harry and Meghan weren't going to continue to attack them, because Harry and Meghan were lobbing grenades at them during some of the most sensitive times in their lives recently. They were mourning people. There were people ill, and Harry and Meghan didn't think to be a little tamer so that they could have time to mourn and just deal with some of the most horrific instances in their lives recently.
Well, exactly. And I guess, Kinsey, that begs the biggest question here. Are they really done, do you think?
I don't think they can help themselves. I mean, we heard in Harry's Telegraph interview, he said that he had kept certain things out of the book. He'd spared us in Spare so that he wouldn't hurt his father and his brother. There were also allegedly like 400 pages that the lawyers wouldn't approve. Meghan told us in the Cut interview that she kept a diary while she was at Frogmore Cottage. We know that there is more content out there.
Well, I guess now we wait and see. But what is certainly interesting is could this possibly have an impact on their marriage? There are now reports that the pair are, quote, moving in opposite directions, and that Meghan is perhaps forging ahead with her own life after the royals. Louise, what do you make of these reports of a potential rift between the pair?
I do think they appear to be at a fork in the road. Either Harry has outdone or outlived his usefulness to Meghan, or they've learned, as many married couples do, to sort of live a life with a bit of independence as well, which doesn't necessarily mean they're heading for the divorce courts. But I think either way, she seems to be eclipsing Harry a bit on the PR front. His PR reputation's in tatters. She seems to be going from strength to strength with Meghan Incorporated. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens to the brand. It seems to be more about her rather than Harry at the moment.
And it's interesting because during Harry's media blitz before and after Spare, Meghan was really nowhere to be seen. She hasn't made any public appearances. In fact, I think the first time we've really seen her is during that alleged catastrophic car chase. Louise, if they did indeed move in opposite directions, what does this mean for the brand that they've built since Megxit? Would they really be willing to give that up?
I don't think they would. I think it's their currency in a way. I think that having Meghan by his side would be of great benefit to Harry at the moment. I mean, he mentioned the coronation and various other events that she should have been at. I mean, certainly he's going to the High Court in the UK this week in London. You can guarantee she won't be by his side for what will be quite a harrowing time for him, I would think. She wasn't at the coronation. I mean, she's not publicly helping him build bridges with his family. They're not even going out really holding hands very much anymore. I mean, there's none of that sort of carefully orchestrated public imagery. So really, she's isolated Harry from his family, and now she seems to be somewhat, at least in the public sphere, isolating him herself.
Yeah, it seems to have all changed and very suddenly. Kinsey, Meghan has reportedly been enjoying spending more time with her friends and celebrities at parties in California while Prince Harry stays at home. What sort of a life would Meghan be living in LA, and who is she associating with?
Well, we've mentioned already her new agency, William Morris Endeavor. They are incredibly powerful here in the States. And I think back just recently that sushi date with Gwyneth Paltrow and Cameron Diaz. First of all, none of us saw Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't even know if she was actually there, but it did seem like a very strategic headline that was placed by the agency to try to elevate Meghan Markle to this A-list, this A-list status. She is not that, I do believe celebrities here stay away from them because they seem to attract so much drama. They seem very toxic and they don't want to be attached to that. So, she does have Tyler Perry. She has Oprah Winfrey. She has a lot of people in the Democratic Party because they donate a lot and they're willing to fundraise for them. But I don't think you're going to see her hanging out with Angelina Jolie or Reese Witherspoon, who William Morris Endeavor are trying to mimic Meghan like ultimately.
And Kinsey, she's been described as a low-grade reality star in LA. Is that right in your view?
I would probably repeat this and attribute it to someone else, but I would never say it myself because I think it's kind of mean-spirited. I say she's not even at the Kardashians level because the Kardashians love and protect their family, and Meghan only talks to her husband. She doesn't talk to his side of the family. She doesn't talk to her family. She uses people and then she never picks up the phone again and when they call. So I don't know. I guess in a way I would say she's reality star level, but she's certainly.
Welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad. If you're here for the truth, the clapbacks, and the unwavering support for Harry and Meghan, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into yet another ridiculous segment from News Corp where so-called royal experts desperately try to stay relevant by throwing baseless attacks at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But don't worry, we're here to set the record straight. Let's get into it. So, we have the usual suspects. Louise Roberts and Kinsey Schofield, two commentators who seemingly can't go a day without obsessing over Harry and Meghan. Their latest talking point? The claim that Harry and Meghan are stepping back from shaming the royal family. But let's break this down. First off, who has actually been shamed by the truth Harry and Meghan have shared? The same royal family that refused to protect them, that ignored Meghan's mental health struggles, and that conveniently looked the other way when members of the British press launched racist, sexist, and downright disgusting attacks. If telling the truth makes people uncomfortable, maybe those people should rethink their actions. Then there's this tired narrative that Harry and Meghan have made millions from attacking the royal family. Let's be clear, the Sussexes made their money the right way through hard work and deals with reputable platforms. They didn't inherit wealth from centuries of colonialism. They didn't accept shady cash donations like certain royals. No, they signed legitimate contracts with Netflix, Spotify, and book publishers because the world is actually interested in their story, not the revisionist nonsense coming from Buckingham Palace's PR machine. And let's talk about this so-called new strategy that the experts claim Meghan's agent is pushing. Since when is evolving and growing a bad thing? Meghan and Harry are dynamic, intelligent, and talented individuals who don't need to stay stuck in the past just to keep critics entertained. Of course, they're moving forward. Unlike some, they don't need to rely on ancient traditions and outdated institutions to stay relevant. Next, we have the absurd claim that the royal family feels relieved that Harry and Meghan are supposedly done with media appearances. The same royal family that can't seem to function without briefing the tabloids about them. The same family that has royal sources feeding lies to the press every other day. Please, if they were truly unbothered, they wouldn't need their media mouthpieces working overtime to discredit Meghan and Harry every chance they get. And let's not forget the classic divorces narrative. Every few months, the tabloids desperately try to paint Meghan as this villainous mastermind who is using Harry. But what's the truth? Harry is thriving, Meghan is thriving, their love is real, their bond is strong. They are living life on their terms, something their critics just can't stand to see. Then we get to the utterly laughable attempts to downplay Meghan's success. First, they claim she isn't A-list. Then they admit she's working with the biggest talent agency in Hollywood. They say she's isolated Harry, but ignore the fact that he's been right by her side, supporting her just as she supports him. They try to brand her as toxic, when in reality she's simply not willing to entertain toxic people. Finally, the audacity to compare Meghan to reality stars is just embarrassing. Let's be honest, who is more obsessed with fame? Meghan, who works with actual industry professionals, or the so-called royal commentators who have built their entire careers on gossiping about her? Make it make sense. So, there you have it, squad. Another day, another desperate attempt by the haters to tear down Meghan and Harry while only proving just how powerful and influential they truly are. But guess what? The Sussexes are thriving, and no amount of tabloid nonsense can change that. If you love this takedown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Royal Sussex Squad, and drop a comment below. And if you want to support independent truth-telling media, you can always send a super thanks to keep these videos coming. Until next time, stay positive, stay informed, and keep supporting our faves. Royal Sussex Squad signing out.